As a candidate, asking questions in your interview is incredibly important. When you get the opportunity, you need to maximize it, not only for your own knowledge, but to demonstrate interest in the position. In today's video, I'm going to give you 5 great questions you can ask in your interview with Disney. Let's go. Now, this first question is a great question, and it's one of my favorites. It's gonna do 2 things. One, it's gonna give you really helpful information for the rest of the interview process, but it's also going to impress them with just a great question from a candidate to an interviewer. And that question is, from your perspective, what differentiates people who have been good in this role from those who have been great? Now, I love this question because it is a great question to ask. But whatever they tell you here, whether it's behaviorally, background, attitude, etc., it's things that are important for you to take in, and then for you to incorporate that in the remainder of your interview and how you're acting, how you're engaging, things for you to sell about yourself if there's alignment there. But it's also really impressive. When a candidate asks me this question in an interview process, I love answering it, and it lets me know that they really put work in thinking about, I have an opportunity to ask questions, what am I going to do? So this is a great one to use. This next role is really important for you because I think it is very easy to sell a role, but you don't often get the nitty-gritty. What is challenging about this role? So this question is, this role seems like such an exciting position, but what would you say is the most challenging aspect of this role? This is good because, one, they're not used to talking about this. Everybody is used to saying, here's why you want to work here, and this is a great role, and here's what we're looking for. But very rarely are recruiters, HR people, and hiring managers used to saying, hey, this is what's really tough about this. So you're going to get an authentic answer, but it's also a really unique question that, again, is going to be impressive. It shows that you did your due diligence, you were interested in the role, and you're putting effort into your preparation for this interview. Now, this next one is a great question because it gives you things that you can incorporate into a thank you email, which is really important. If you want to know how to write a great thank you email, I've got a video on that. Go watch that video because it's really powerful. But it also gives you an opportunity to learn a little bit about them and a little bit about the culture with the company you're interviewing with. And that question is, what has been your favorite thing about working at Disney? This is kind of a softball question, right? It is not challenging. It is not hard-hitting like the 2 previous ones, but it's an opportunity to let them talk and to let them sell you on the role and for you to learn a little bit about them, what they value, and gain information on their unique perspective. And again, whatever they tell you here is going to be really helpful for a powerful thank you email because you can reference the things they specifically answer in this question. This next question is a question I would never leave an interview without asking. The next 2 are, so make sure you stick around for the end because these last 2 are really powerful. And this question is, what does a person need to achieve in the first 90 days in order for this to be viewed as a successful hire? Now, you could substitute 90 days with a year, but this question does a few things. One, it helps you understand, are they realistic with what this person needs to achieve? It also gives you a roadmap for if you are hired, the things you need to go about accomplishing so that your first 90 days is really successful. The reality is, when you are hired at a role, there is kind of a probationary period, and generally speaking, that is 90 days. So it makes sense for you to understand with no uncertain terms what you need to accomplish for the first 90 days to go great from their perspective. So it's a great question. Now, the last one is a closing question, and I love it. It is so powerful. I ask it at the end of every interview I've ever done, and that question is, do you have any questions or concerns about my ability to do the job? This is great because it gives you a chance to rebuttal any concern they might have, whereas you normally wouldn't. Normally, you end an interview or you walk out and you're there to wonder, do they have concerns? Is there anything I could have resolved for them? You just don't know. But when you ask this question, one of 2 things is gonna happen. One, they're gonna say, no, I think you'd be a good fit for the role. I don't have any concerns, in which case you can say, great, I'm really interested in this role. Talking to you has been awesome, and I'm looking forward to moving on to the next step, right? You can express interest. You can double down in your interest in pursuing the role. But the second thing could happen is they could go, yeah, actually, I'm really concerned, Ben, because you don't have A, B, and C experience. Often you do, but you didn't have a chance to tell them that. Or you may not have that experience, but you might feel comfortable in learning those things and addressing the issue they have with you. Either way, this offers you an opportunity to thank them. Thank you for that information. That's really helpful for me to understand. However, I would like to say that blank, and then you can make your argument in a reasoned, calm, and pragmatic way. And it's a great way for you to address something that might be like a game stopper, right? That might end it right there, or you could address it and give yourself an opportunity to continue moving forward in the interview process. Now that is the end of this video, but I want you to watch this video right here. This video gives you actual behavioral interview questions that Disney asks in their interview process, and it teaches you exactly what you need to say to answer them. Behavioral interview questions are incredibly popular with recruiters, HR people, and hiring managers, and they are tough to answer. But if you watch this, you'll have a grip on it.